If I can think of a really wise person who can teach me really great lessons of life in order to improve myself, who could that be? I have the perfect person for that. For those who doesn't know who Sadhguru is, he's an Indian yogi who has been dedicating his life in education of spirituality and environment. And especially, he has been transforming thousands of people's lives.
The fundamental aspect of everything that we're doing is very carefully calibrated to see that everything that you do moves you away from what you have gathered to what you really are. Always, every breath, every step, every act is about moving from untruth to truth. What you believe yourself to be, to what you really are. You will see.
Hi friends, and welcome to Rameliving. My name is Pia and I'm a wellness coach from Costa Rica. And in this channel, I share with you different tools on how to live a much more conscious, healthy, and happy life. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 life lessons that I have learned from the amazing yogi Sadhguru that has helped me to improve my quality of life. And I want to share with you because they're really basic but very powerful. So if you're interested about them, let's begin. Life lesson number 1. Remember that you are mortal and no one of us know exactly the day that we're gonna leave. So as Sadhguru says, you are mortal and is ticking away. There is no time for frustration, depression, anxiety, anger, or for any unpleasantness in this life. It's really simple, but we tend to forget it. That's why lots of people, when they have a heart attack or a near-death experience, they start really improving their quality of life and in quality of the relationships around them. So let's try to practice mortality every single day. And for that, Sadhguru recommends to have connection with nature every single day, because that reminds us that we are mortal and that we come from the earth. So that brings us like a biological memory. In my case, what I do is that I try to connect every single day with something nature-like. It could be a flower, it could be the sound of the river that is nearby my house, it could be the wind, it can be just looking at the sky and the clouds, or it can be just as simple as looking at the trees. And that has helped me a lot to choose to live a much more happy and peaceful life instead of just holding on anger, resentment, or any other frustration that at the end I'm not gonna carry on when I leave this world. The lesson number 2 is to choose to live in an intelligent way. Which way do you want to live? Do you feel better living in a world that you see love out there, or do you feel better in a world that you see anger or resentment out there? Know that you can always choose according to your own intelligence. And what I love what Sadhguru says to us is that creating a loving world in your surroundings is not only for other people, it's mostly about yourself. For me, that helped me a lot when I started getting a little bit frustrated with some situation of some other people or things that I cannot control, that are most all of the time. I always try to just stop and use my own intelligence and just ask myself, is this serving me to live in a beautiful state, or this is making me live far away from a beautiful state? So I can always choose, and you too. The lesson number 3 is to determine the quality of your life. And for that, guys, you have to be really honest with yourself and what is a good quality of life for you. We as human beings, we tend to think that quality of life is having all of this comfort around us, like a good car or a good house or whatever materialistic world that we want to create. These things can make our life more comfortable, but not necessarily the quality of life it's gonna be improved by them. If you depend of all of the other external things to have a higher quality of life, you're not gonna be happy, because all of the external things, they do not depend completely on you. One day you can have them, the next day you might miss them. What it means a quality of life, which are the emotional state that you want to live in, what brings your life be more beautiful. So I would recommend you to write them down and have them really clear and start working every single day towards them and creating that beautiful state of mind inside yourself. The lesson number 4 is to kill the lies. Go inside yourself and be really honest and found something towards your behavior that doesn't serve you well, and just kill it, get rid of it. Find something that is really specific, really concrete, and especially that is kind of small and under your control. So one example of this is, it's different to say, I kill my anger by never getting angry again, than to say, I will not say angry words when I get angry. That is completely different. That is something that you actually can control, can put in your awareness, and can commit to never do it again or to kill it. It's like how Sadhguru says, decide on something that you can do and that you will do. This is how to transform your life, by taking small steps. The lesson number 5 is to find something that can add something special to your life, that adds up. And this is basically like the contrary of the lesson number 1, that instead of taking out something that is dragging you down, is to add something that is gonna put you higher. And for that is the same as the lesson before. You have to find something that is under your control and that you can make a commitment to it. And for that, there's a lot of small changes and behaviors that you can add every single day of your life, depending on the area that you need it the most. One example of this is in the morning when you wake up, before doing anything else, you can take 5 minutes of your day and write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And just put your mind in that grateful state for the day. Another behavior that you can add up is just to do 3 really conscious breathing before you enter your house after work, just to put yourself in a state of mind that it can bring you peace and connection to yourself, instead of dragging out all of the problems from the office or of the outside world. So my recommendation to you is just to pick up one thing, and when you feel that you master it, you can start with the next thing. The same as Sadhguru says, small changes can transform your life. So never hesitate to start really small and never underestimate those small changes. Now the lesson number 6 is that there is intelligence in humility. And this, guys, is really a simple yet really difficult lesson to learn, because we as human beings, we have this ego that, of course, it helps us a lot to be able to identify to something in this world and create all our personality. Nonetheless, when we are living much in the level of the ego, we tend to think that we know it all. And actually, the more we can realize that we don't know anything of nothing in this world, gave us a great opportunity to practice much more humbleness. And by that, it's easier to see that every one of us, it's exactly on the same level and created by the same source. By realizing that, it can give us major sensation of belonging, union, oneness, and that is a way of living more intelligently. When you know that you're living with a humble heart, it's a much more way to live more peaceful and much more loving. And the last lesson, that is my favorite one, is that there is no good or no bad. And this one, it's kind of a difficult one to learn because we as human beings, we tend to classify everything as good or bad. And this brings lots of suffering in these worlds and lots of problematic situations. Because like if we classified something as good, it has to have the opposite, that is the bad thing too. So we get so attached to the good thing that we start defending very much this position, and we start creating separation between the good and the bad. And we can create separation in situations, in persons, and in anything. And if we get too attached to the good stuff, everything that is bad for us, we're gonna try to avoid it. And the fact is that we cannot have control of the outside world, only the inside world. So living under this illusion, it's really complicated for us and brings lots of suffering. The truth is that the creation is perfect, and it's the ultimate intelligence is always going on around us every single day, and every one of us has its own truth inside. So even if these opposites help us to take better and wiser decisions, it's important to take out the veil and see the world as it is, without the classifying in bad or good. It's just it is. And when you start seeing the world as it is, you can accept way much more your outside world, and you have a much more peaceful state of mind in the inside, because you're just allowing it to manifest itself without control and without wanting it to change it. So this is a really hard practice to do. You can start with small things, just allowing it to be. For example, that helped me a lot, just to look at nature, and you can see, for example, the trees, that they are beautiful trees that are the typicals that you draw when you were a kid, and they are trees that are completely broken and weird, and the branches doesn't even make sense. But the more you look at it, you can see the beauty of it. You're not trying to control it and to make it a perfect tree. So you can start by there, just looking a simple example like that, and start extrapolating it to any other situation that you're finding trouble to with this duality. So that was the step that I started applying in order to allow the manifestation just to be. And to be completely honest, I'm not there yet. I still very human, and I still tend to put things like right or wrong or good and bad. Nonetheless, I have it much more in my awareness, and that definitely has bring me a little bit more of peace too, and living in a world that I am not living with that much frustration or anger. And I want to finalize this by saying something beautiful that Sadhguru says, that is, seeing everything just the way it is, that is the way to be within. If you see something other than what is there, it means you're contaminating the world with your opinions and prejudices. So I found that really beautiful. And well, that was the 7 lessons from this amazing yogi that I have been applying. If you want to search for him, you can see his website. I'm gonna leave the link down below, or you can search tons of his videos on YouTube too, or do his Inner Engineer program online. He's amazing, as many other yogis that we this time have the support of them for our own path. So I hope that you like a lot the video. I remember you that subscribe to the channel so you won't miss on any of my videos, because I love to share all of these topics with you guys. And you can find more things on my website, rameliving.com. But for now, I just send you lots of love. Take good care. Bye.